welcome to this week's episode of The Real Politik. It was a big news week. After 10 years of silence, Rahul Gandhi decided to break his silence, and when he did, he chose Times Now to give an interview. He spoke to Times Now's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami. Apart from the questions that he answered, the several that he left unanswered have stirred up a debate that has gone on for several days after the interview.
And really, the thing I see to the telecom revolution.
For the first time in 10 years, Rahul Gandhi has broken his silence in a detailed interview to Times Now's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami. When he spoke, he answered several questions on the riots of 1984.
Did the Sikh riots take place in Delhi? Absolutely. Were they completely wrong? Absolutely.
Were congressmen involved?
Did innocent people die? Absolutely.
Were congressmen involved?
Some congressmen probably were involved.
But has justice been delivered to them?
There is a legal process through which they have gone.
You admit some congressmen were probably involved?
Some congressmen have been punished for it.
On the difference in philosophies with Narendra Modi.
The BJP has a prime ministerial candidate. The BJP believes in concentration of power in the hands of one person. I fundamentally disagree with that. I believe in democracy. I believe in opening up the system. I believe in the RTI. I believe in giving power to our people. We have fundamentally different philosophy.
And on alliance partners.
Our alliance in Bihar is with a political party with an idea. It is not with an individual. We're making an alliance, and it's not certain that we are going to make an alliance. We are in the process of talking to people, and our alliance is with an idea, with a party.
But it is the dynasty versus the humble chaiwala origins that are the big contrast between Rahul Gandhi and Modi.
I didn't choose to be born in this family. I didn't sign up and say, listen, I'd like to be born in this family. It happened. I am absolutely against the concept of dynasty. Anybody who knows me knows that, understands that, right? But you're not going to wish away dynasty in a closed system.
Has Rahul Gandhi come into his own a year after he was declared the vice president of the Congress party, or has the debate between him and Modi sharpened up more than ever before? Is Rahul Gandhi now, after breaking his silence after 10 years, is he better positioned today to take on Narendra Modi in the fight of 2014? That's the big question that we are asking today. And joining me on this discussion is Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress. And of course, joining us from the BJP is Sudhanshu Trivedi, BJP spokesperson. My first question goes to you, Mr. Sanjay Jha. The question of the riots track record of Narendra Modi that you really carried on debating for so long, is that question settled now, the riot versus riot debate between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi, now that this entire 1984 admission has come from Rahul Gandhi, where he has admitted that there could have been the involvement of some Congress leaders in the 84 riots?
Navika, I think Mr. Rahul Gandhi took the bull by the horns. He sat for a long interview with Times Now with Arnab, and every question that Arnab asked, he actually addressed all of them. To answer your question, on the 1984 riots, Mr. Gandhi said what is already there in the public domain, that amongst the 400, and there are almost 400 odd people who have been convicted in the 1984 riots, and there are some leaders from the Congress party who are being investigated, and the trials are on at various stages. So he acknowledged that. I don't think he tried to at any point of time defend what was clearly a very reprehensible, a very terrible tragedy. He agreed that what happened was wrong and that justice ought to find its own logical course. Now, as far as 2002 riots were concerned, he also repeated what is known. The fact, and I was surprised how Arnab kept saying it was a clean chit. It's not a clean chit, and I'll tell you why. And it's important that you need to address that for all the viewers of your program. The SIT said in its verdict that there was not enough prosecutable evidence against Mr. Modi. That doesn't mean a clean chit. And by the way, the issue is already being taken up by Zakia Jafri in the High Court. So the matter is still sub judice.
Sanjay Jha, the issue really here is the riot versus riot debate. Congressmen themselves now feel post this interview that somewhere the 84 riots have come back on the table at a time when the Congress clearly did not want that. It was the 2002 riots that they really only wanted to discuss. And Sudhanshu, let me draw you in at this point. Sudhanshu, do you think that this 2002 and Narendra Modi's track record as the Gujarat Chief Minister during 2002 riots is something that the Congress has overplayed and now they have come up with questions they themselves need to answer?
Navika, as you have already said, that Rahul Gandhi has broken his silence after 10 years. Yes, of course, he has not spoken a single word in parliament in the 10 years, and he has spoken outside, and whatever he spoke and whatever platform he spoke, it's in front of the country. He sometimes speaks in press conferences and creates a humiliation for their own government, whether it is the central government or the Maharashtra government. Then he spoke in public meeting about the intelligence input, whether it was right, wrong, whatever it is, what has been given regarding the Muzaffarnagar riots. Then, if you remember, during the WikiLeaks, the fact came out that he talked to American officers that Hindu terror is a very problematic situation for India. And now he himself has raked up the issue of 1984 riots. So you yourself can judge how mature he is while speaking on any of the platform. Now, as far as these riots are concerned, this is a consistent strategy of Congress party since BJP wants to contest election on the issue of corruption, misgovernance and misrule and development. In the recently concluded Vidhan Sabha elections, communalism was not an issue, and the entire public has seen where we are standing and where Congress is standing. Now they want to deliberately divert the issue towards the communal angle, and for the first time from their topmost level, this is being done. So they want the politics of the country at the time of election to be communalized so that they can fetch some dividends out of that.
Do you think that Narendra Modi's record, as Sanjay Jha points out, has more to answer for, and that in Delhi everything was fine? Sanjay Jha, you clearly have forgotten the fact that even the president, who was a Sikh at that time, tried to get in touch with the Home Minister, with the Prime Minister. Nobody took the president's calls at that point in time. The army wasn't called out for three days in 1984. There are several issues that go against the Congress. But Sudhanshu, do you think that the record of the BJP still leaves a lot of room for question than the record of the Congress on the issue of the handling of riots?
In this context, I would like to put certain facts which are irrefutable. In 2002, Gujarat riots, there were 199 people killed in police firing. And in 1984 riots, not even a single person was killed in police firing. Not now. In 2002 riots, I am not trying to name the communities, but since the Home Ministry for the first time has issued the name of victims in Muzaffarnagar riots by their religion, in 2002 riots, out of around 1200 people died, around 250 were Hindus and 850 were Muslims. And in 1984 riots, around 3800 people died and 100% of one community. Then you are saying that the government was responsible, and that too happening in the central government. And after that, the Prime Minister was saying that a bada ped girta hai to dharti hilti hai. Now, as Mr. Sanjay Jha said, that the most honest statement given by Mr. Rahul Gandhi was that his blood boils. Yes, of course, his blood boils on this issue. And his mother weeps on the issue of Batal House encounter as per the words of Mr. Salman Khurshid. But I have never seen their blood boiling for those soldiers who have laid down their life, and those heads have been cut down and they were beheaded by the Pakistani army.
Let's not personalize this.
No,
Mr.
there is no
Sudhanshu
question of personalizing. Their leader uses to visit the villages in Azamgarh district of those who are alleged in terrorist activities. And their senior most leader weeps for that, but not even a single sentiment for those who have laid down their life for the country. This clearly shows that you are going with the communal politics for the sake of vote bank, not for the national interest. This is my allegation. And as far as BJP is
So what
concerned,
you're
3 of our leaders
basically
have
on
went to
both
village
sides-
of those soldiers. Our present President, Mr. Rajnath Singh, former President Nitin Gadkari, and leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, Srimati Sushma Swaraj. 3 leaders visited to those villages. Name a single leader of Congress party who has visited a leader of those soldiers.
On both sides, and that brings me to my next question. On both sides, there is an attempt to make this a communal versus secularism debate. The question here is really, in this communal versus secular divide that you're talking about, who has the greater drawing power as far as alliance partners are concerned? Is it Rahul Gandhi or is it Narendra Modi? Sanjay Jha, already we are seeing in the last few days, there have been alliance troubles that have been coming out, whether it is the National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir, it's on a war path with the Congress party. Also reports of Omar Abdullah wanting to step down because he's not getting along with the Congress partnership in the state. We're hearing about Sharad Pawar. He's meeting with Narendra Modi. Even if it's informal meeting, the fact is that Sharad Pawar and his party, the NCP, clearly pointing out that there is no communication between the Congress and the NCP, and several issues of alliance partnership are pending agreement. So clearly, alliance partnership, which was something of a trump card that the Congress had in its hand, somewhere down the line, is it again coming up for a big question under the leadership of Rahul Gandhi?
Navika, the truth is, if you look at, the fact that today the NDA, which once had over 20 partners, is now just having, besides 2 other identity-based political parties like the Shiv Sena or the SAD in Punjab, they really don't have any partners because, I'm sure everybody is distinctly uncomfortable, not just because of Mr. Modi's very checkered track record, but also the fact that, you have Mr. Amit Shah, very controversial figures there really, who are part of the BJP's campaign. And truly there is a message that I think the BJP sends when Mr. Gandhi talked about the concentration of power in the hands of one individual. I mean, it that today the BJP has ceased to exist.
But then why are you having alliance trouble, Mr.
We are not. Let me tell you today, if you look at the reality, it's the RSS which is really fighting the election, and they have put a person who is really a manifestation of polarization politics.
You're not answering the question. Trinamool Congress walked out on you. The Trinamool Congress has walked out on you. The DMK has walked out on you. The National Conference is not happy with you. The NCP is also not happy with the way the coalition is being run. You're talking about the BJP. I want to know from you, how is the Congress managing its alliance partner?
I think the Congress, as a Congress party, if you look at even the Trinamool, for example, there may be certain issues of a policy where, they were unhappy with it. Even the DMK had reservations about the issue on Sri Lanka. Now, you can have issue-based differences, but that does not mean that there's a fundamental, what I call as the principles behind the party remain solid. And that's where the Congress is a gluing factor for India. That's why we are a pan-Indian party, not just present in a certain pocket of India like the BJP. You look at why JDU, which was a partner with them in Bihar, walked out. They walked out with a simple message, which was not just JDU.
But you're not aligned with JDU either.
We are not. But
the JDU is not aligned with you either. You are looking at the RJD, which has a corruption record. There has been a conviction of Lalu Prasad, but you're looking at RJD as a possible alliance partner. Sudhanshu, let me draw you in here. Who has the bigger challenge, Narendra Modi in attracting alliance partners, or do you think the Congress is also showing signs of same alliance trouble?
For making a consistent alliance, the issue of communalism is a facade, in my opinion, because in 1996 we were 161, not even a single party came to us, but in 1998 Lok Sabha election, when we again got 182 seats, then and 1999 afterwards 27 parties came to us. We were the same, the leadership was same. So nothing changed. The second factor is the governance and your political ability to keep the flocks together. I would like to remind that it was the BJP which led the first coalition government in the history of India for full term under the leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Even in the states, if you go by the multiple coalition, it was the BJP which ran the successful full term of coalition government in the state of Uttar Pradesh from 1997 to 2002. So BJP is having the capability to take the things along together, and whatever was the circumstances, we have not ditched any of our ally. We would have sometime faced, you can say, some sort of Vishwas Ghat from our allies. But we have not done from our side. And the longest serving alliance in the Indian history is the BJP Shiv Sena alliance. So you cannot say, and our alliance with JDU continued for 17 years. Unfortunately, JDU has misjudged the situation, which is evident from the electoral surveys which are coming in. So in my opinion, the BJP...
So it's going to be a competition between the Congress and the BJP on who can get more alliance partners together, and suddenly the UPA also seems extremely vulnerable, all this while having run a coalition for 10 years. Towards the end of the UPA 2, the UPA coalition looks extremely more vulnerable than it ever has in the last 10 years. We'll slip into a short break, but when we come back, we look at the big question on both Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi. Are they prisoners of their own image wars? That question after the short break. The question that we'll now look at is whether both Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi are individuals who are bigger than the party. Is this going to be an individual war, or is this a party that is competing, Congress versus BJP, or is it just Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi in these elections? And also whether both these individuals have become a prisoner of their own images, so to speak. Sanjay Jha, the question really here is, Rahul Gandhi says, I have nothing to apologize for 1984 because I wasn't here, I wasn't taking any decisions. He's distanced himself from the entire history of the Congress party. So do you think somewhere or the other there is an attempt to de-link the legacy which is uncomfortable as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned of the Congress party when he goes into the 2014 elections?
Let me tell you, Navika, when the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Manmohan Singh, says so in Parliament, or when the Congress President says so, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, when they all apologize, they apologize not just as individuals, they apologize on behalf of the party, frankly on behalf of the nation. I think we need to close the matter there. As far as Mr. Rahul Gandhi is concerned, the very fact, we can keep talking about the apology, but the more pertinent point is about getting justice. If Mr. Modi apologizes tomorrow, this being an election year, that doesn't mean that the justice or the closure will happen. There's no denying that we should not talk about riots in terms of comparisons, because the truth is closure will be considerably longer because the people have gone through pain. I'm sure, for them it's a terrible anguish. But to answer your question, Mr. Gandhi has always been, as he said to Arnab in the program, he is an anomaly in the system as he perceives that, because he's challenging that. On the ordinance, where thanks to his bold initiative, he got criticized for his method, he himself says so, but the truth of the matter is his initiative on the ordinance is actually going to make sure that Indian politics will get less corrupt free, less criminal free, and it no longer will corrupt people or convicted criminals get a chance.
How does that hold true when you will have an alliance with the RJD?
Well, let me tell you,
it was because of Lalu Prasad Yadav that entire ordinance was conceived, and it is because of him that your government cleared it in the cabinet, wanted to take it to the parliament, and suddenly Rahul Gandhi had a change of heart. But you're still going to go and have an alliance with the RJD. How does the going back on the ordinance really take back any of this? Sudhanshu, do you agree with Mr. Sanjay Jha?
Navika,
let me just finish that before you bring Sudhanshu in. Just give me a minute to finish that, if you don't mind. Sudhanshu, just give me 1 minute. I'll try and wrap that up. You see, it's not just the ordinance, it's also the Lokpal bill and hopefully the anti-corruption bills, 6 of them that you see before the parliament term comes to an end. But there's a difference here, Navika. I think, but Mr. Gandhi mentioned the fact that, you see, we are not making an alliance with an individual, with a party. It doesn't make the entire RJD corrupt. And there's a difference. Yediyurappa has merged with the BJP. We are not, Lalu Prasad Yadav's party is not merging with the Congress. There's a fundamental difference. And we all know the corrupt track record of Mr. Yediyurappa. So that's an endorsement of corruption. Here we are having an electoral alliance, but we are not saying that if somebody is corrupt, they are not corrupt. There's a difference here.
I don't know how people are going to, perceive this. Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, yes, there is a point that Yediyurappa went out of the BJP because of corruption charges against him. Now he comes back and, rejoins. How can the BJP criticize the Congress record? Though in people's perception, Yediyurappa and Lalu Prasad Yadav will always be seen in the same light. But how does the BJP target the Congress on this? You don't have an argument, to stand on this particular issue.
Navika, I would like to clarify that Mr. Yediyurappa was removed from the post of Chief Minister of Karnataka on the charges of corruption. He was not ousted from the party. He himself has left the party. Now he himself has joined the party on its own, and party has not given in any post, neither the state president or the leader of the legislature party in the assembly. So there is no comparison between it. He has left the party on its own. He has come back. We have not given him any post. We have removed from the post. Our stand is consistently clear. Now, on your question, which you have said, you have not made a proper comparison between the personality of Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi. How can you compare between BJP and Congress? BJP is a political party, and Congress is a personal family fiefdom. And you have witnessed it for the several times, like the recently concluding their AICC session in Delhi. 3 cylinders were given. Can it not be given in the cabinet meeting or through a proper procedure of the government? It was like the medieval courts in the Mughal time, when the Bali Hyder Sultanate आकर कहता था कि साहब मैंने ये दिया रहमो करम किया दुनिया पे, और उसके बाद सारा कोर्ट कहता था जहे नसीब. It was exactly like the feudalistic pattern. And now I would like to say that Mr. Narendra Modi has not, you quote a single instant when he tried to, you can say, overcome the Lakshman Rekha of the party. He has never done like that. Each and every announcement is made by Mr. Rajnath Singh, who is the party president. So we strictly follow the organization and discipline, and Mr. Narendra Modi, like a true Swayam Sevak, is following the discipline. And on the other hand, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is trying to each and every time outsmarting his own government and humiliating his own prime minister. How can you compare between those two?
Mr. Sanjay Jha, are Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi fighting an image battle that is being fought out there in the media space, in the social media, and have they in some way or the other become prisoners of that image war?
Navika, just a quick response. I can give you a list of the number of people, from Mr. Rajnath Singh's son down to Anurag Thakur and his father. Dynastic politics is being followed in a rampant way within the Bharatiya Janata Party. Point number 2, but the more pertinent point, I think, the big difference, I can't comment on what is holding back Mr. Modi, etc. But the big difference is you have a muscular Mr. Modi who goes in a public platform and says, you need a 56 inch ka, the heart. But I think what India needs in a leader is a small, teeny weeny 1 square inch of heart. I think leaders need a heart. They need compassion. They need empathy. They need understanding. And that's what Mr. Rahul Gandhi brings to the table. And I think, going forward, I think he epitomizes a new modern India. Mr. Gandhi took a stance within 24 hours on Section 377 that is being debated today. You will find a conspicuous silence from Mr. Modi. This is an issue not just about an LGBT community. It's an issue on freedom, of liberty, of creating a society that will be more tolerant of minority rights. Now, these are fundamental to the discussion.
That's a completely different debate. So Sanjay Jha says Rahul Gandhi brings compassion and a big heart to the table. Narendra Modi on the other side brings in humble beginnings and a chai wala beginnings to the table. Which of these will survive and win the round of elections of 2014? That's what this competition is all about. We'll have to wait and watch this space for the result of that big match between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi. But whichever way you look at it, battle ready, both sides, to go all guns blazing for the elections of 2014. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on The Real Politik this week. Next week, another hot topic for political debate and the real story in The Real Politik.